Welcome back to the channel, where we explore the most incredible custom motorcycles from around the globe. Today, we are diving deep into the shadows with a machine that redefines the concept of a blacked-out build. We are looking at a 1981 Yamaha XS1100 that has been completely transformed by the Spanish workshop 72 Motorcycles. They call it Il Corvino, which translates to the Raven, and once you see the details on this bike, you will understand exactly why that name is so fitting. If you thought the original XS1100 was just a heavy touring bike, prepare to have your mind changed. Let's start with a bit of history to set the stage. The Yamaha XS1100, affectionately known as the XS11, was a beast of its era. When it launched in the late 70s, it was the most powerful production bike in the world, renowned for its massive torque and endurance. However, it was also known for being heavy and a bit of a handful in the corners. It was a grand tourer, not a track weapon. But where others see a heavy cruiser, the creative minds at 72 Motorcycles saw a canvas for a menacing, neo-retro cafe racer. The builders, Antonio and Jose, wanted to create something that looked like a bull ready to charge, bulky and muscular at the front, but short and aggressive at the rear. The visual impact of Il Corvino is immediate. The entire motorcycle is draped in various shades of black. It's not just a single flat coat. The builders have masterfully mixed gloss, matte, and satin finishes to create depth and texture. The frame, which has been extensively modified, disappears into the darkness, allowing the few metallic highlights to pop. The original subframe was chopped and shortened significantly, giving the bike that classic cafe racer silhouette, where the tail ends right above the rear axle. This reduction in visual weight at the back emphasizes the massive inline-4 that sits at the heart of the build. Speaking of the frame, the engineering work here goes far beyond a simple tail chop. The most significant structural change is the suspension setup. The original XS1100 came with a traditional dual-shock rear setup, which was standard for the time but limited the bike's handling potential. 72 Motorcycles decided to modernize this completely by converting it to a monoshock system. This involved fabricating a new upper mount on the frame and reinforcing the swing arm to accept a high-performance YSS shock absorber. This modification cleans up the rear end beautifully, removing the visual clutter of the tune shocks and giving the bike a much more modern, performance-oriented stance. At the front end, the upgrades are just as severe. The stock telescopic forks were ditched in favor of a thoroughly modern inverted fork setup taken from a Triumph Speed Triple 1050. This is a massive upgrade that transforms the handling characteristics of the bike. The inverted forks provide much better rigidity and feedback, crucial for taming the weight of the big XS1100 engine. Along with the forks, the builders adapted the Triumph's braking system, mounting powerful Brembo radial calipers on 320mm discs. For a bike of this size and power, having modern stopping power is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. The wheels were also updated to 17-inch units to accommodate modern rubber, ensuring that Il Corvino has the grip to match its looks. Now, let's talk about that engine. The 1101cc air-cooled inline-4 is a legend for a reason. It produces a wall of torque that pulls like a freight train from low RPMs. For this build, the engine was completely torn down and rebuilt to ensure reliability. While the internals remain largely stock to preserve that bulletproof Yamaha durability, the breathing has been improved. The stock airbox is gone, replaced by a set of K&N pod filters that give the intake a throaty growl. On the exhaust side, a custom 4-into-1 system was fabricated, ending in a short, aggressive muffler that surely sounds as mean as the bike looks. The engine block itself was treated to a fresh coat of black paint, of course, with the cooling fins carefully polished to create a striking contrast. The bodywork is where the Raven theme really takes flight. The fuel tank might look familiar, but it's been heavily modified. The builders created custom fiberglass covers that sit over the original tank structure, widening the front to achieve that charging bull look they were after. These covers flow seamlessly into the seat unit, which is a custom fiberglass piece designed specifically for this frame. The seat itself is upholstered in a premium material that mimics the texture of feathers, a subtle but brilliant nod to the bike's name. The tail unit houses the electronics and a discrete LED tail light, keeping the lines ultra clean. In the cockpit, the mantra was "less is more." The bulky original instrument cluster was discarded in favor of a tiny, high-tech Moto Gadget speedometer. The handlebars are clip-ons mounted low on the fork tubes to force the rider into an aggressive tuck. The switchgear has been simplified using Moto Gadget push buttons that are barely visible on the bars. All the wiring runs through the famous Moto Gadget Mo Unit Blue, which serves as the brain of the electrical system, allowing for features like keyless ignition via a smartphone app. It's a perfect example of hiding modern technology inside a vintage package. Il Corvino is a masterclass in custom motorcycle building. It takes a bike that was often overlooked by the cafe racer crowd due to its size and shaft drive and proves that with enough vision and fabrication skill, anything can be transformed. 72 Motorcycles has created a machine that honors the brute force of the original XS1100 while shedding its touring baggage to reveal a sharp, dark, and dangerous street fighter. It's a bike that looks fast standing still, a true embodiment of darkness on two wheels.